What up, 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 world? What up, class? Class is in session. Right now, it's the Educated Brother podcast, because sometimes, you got people in your life, you love them very dearly, you consider them like brothers. But, sometimes they just not on time for stuff. Sometimes they are late for class, but it's all good because we gonna get things started regardless of how it looks. So before we jump into everything, because we do have some shenanigans that is going to happen. Shawn is on the way. He's just, we'll just say his private jet got in a little bit late. He's always traveling and going everywhere. And he's actually on his way to Houston is coming up, but he'll talk more about that when he gets onto the episode. But right now, it's your boy Dante. I'm here with you. And before we jump into everything, I got a couple of things that I want to get into. When Shawn gets here, we're going to get into it. I just want to know, again, y'all can always drop it in the chat how y'all doing and everything like that. Right now, I'll tell y'all what's going on with me. I just had a show not too long ago. Those of y'all that don't know, I am an actor as well as a motivational speaker, MC, whatever you need. I could probably do it. And if I haven't done it, I could probably learn how to get it done. You feel me? So the thing about it is, I had a show a couple weeks back, and it's with shout out to the production company Get Right Entertainment. They always looking me out. They always got some plays. They always got some shows coming on. So we do have a show that's coming out. It's going to be coming out in Jersey City on April 12th, I want to say. It might be a little bit earlier, but don't quote me on that. I'm actually going to have a link in my bio. So if you don't already follow me, it's at ITSDANTEB. It's Dante B. So that's me. So yeah, and then just some things that I wanted to talk to y'all about just in general about how y'all are doing, with everything changing in terms of the weather, in terms of the seasons changing, like if you're thinking about, maybe you want to try something or you want to do something different or something doesn't feel right. You're feeling kind of like, you need to break out of something. I want you to try it. You know what I'm saying? Because I've had that moment. I literally had that moment a couple of days ago where I woke up, I was feeling kind of weird. You ever have one of them days where you just feeling weird, but you don't know why you're feeling weird? And I had one of those, and it was one of those where I just had to like sit down and really meditate for a little bit, sit down and think about it for a little bit and say like, what is it that I need to make me feel a little bit better in this moment? And then it kind of just dawned on me. It's like, I've actually suppressed a couple of things that I've wanted to keep doing, whether that's like, making a video or doing a voiceover or something like that. So I want to get back into those things. So like those creatives out there or people who just want to try something different, it's just something I want you to think about in terms of how you want to live your life. Your next step, what that's going to look like. 2025, before you know it, it's going to be came and went, right? It's March. It's about to be April, y'all. Like, we really into 2025. So whatever it is that you need to do, make sure you're out there doing it. And while we're waiting for Shawn, I do have a couple things that I've been looking at. Like recently we've just had a lot going on, just whether it's in the media, whether it's in sports, in music. It's like everywhere you turn around, someone is in their feelings. That's not always a bad thing, right? It's okay to feel. Like we talk about that on the show. Like it's okay to feel. But you ever just see some people be like in their feelings, crash outs, if you will, that just like do too much? Like for example, I don't know if y'all been keeping up with it, but Stephen A. Him and LeBron have been not necessarily having jabs because like it's looking like right now that it's just Stephen A. But he's going on this rants like for days now. Like in case you're not familiar with what's going on, long story short, a couple weeks back, LeBron pressed Stephen A. at the Lakers game. Basically, was telling him, keep my son's name out your mouth on his Will Smith shit, So he was telling them like, yo, enough of that. Like whatever you got to say it to me. So Stephen A., he has his own show and he goes on and he's talking about, if this was what it was, if he really wanted those problems, I'd pull up like this and I'd do that. And it's like, those of y'all that haven't seen Stephen A. do like some renditions of boxing or dancing, if you will, shout out to Spice Adams. This man is not going to box blocks a thing. If you're not familiar with the video, he's literally doing this weak ass like body shot and then uppercut, but it looked like a dance move. So Spice Adams put on a song to it. So you gotta check it out on his page. But it's one of those things where you're looking at Stephen A. and you sitting there watching a grown man say all of the things that he's air quote gonna do, right? So LeBron puts up the video, then he goes on to his show today. Basically went on a whole rant about, I didn't say about how you didn't go to Kobe's. Oh my God, what is this? Oh my God. I can't. Like, I'll be in the middle of talking and what are you doing? What's happening right now? Yo, I know. Nah, I know you not. Is that supposed to be Saratoga Water in your hand? What is wrong with you, son? What do you need? A bucket of ice water?
Scholars, you gotta make sure that you're living your life, right? You know?
Bring your mic over there. Bring your mic over.
Scholars, you gotta make sure that you're living your life right. You know, my mentor, my mentor has been, you know, showing me how to live and wake up the right way, how to go about your days. And,
I see.
So yeah, you know.
I see. And you know, the problem is I was so flabbergasted because you had the tape on your nose. That's what I saw first. So that's what I was like, what's going on? I have no idea. And then I realized, that's why he's not saying anything, because he's also got black tape around his mouth. Now, I want y'all to know, scholars, before I was talking about Stephen A., and we're going to get back to that in a second, I had no idea Shawn was going to do this. So for those of y'all that think that the shit we do here is scripted and we talk about it, nah, we really don't, because I had no idea he was going to do this foolishness.
I'm late.
I knew he was going to be late.
I'm late, but scholars!
And we not playing the intro over no more, sir. I done gave my inspirational quote for the day. I done told people to follow their dreams already. So
I came in right?
Yeah, no. You came in when I was starting to get into the shenanigans of today's topic, which we will get into. But I do want to know, are you okay? 'Cause
listen, I've been, you know, going to sleep with tape in my mouth, putting bananas on my face.
Banana peels, just go on one of those.
Bro, I'm living, dog. We good, bro. I got promoted at work.
That's it.
So we good,
and that's
bro.
all from the regiment, son.
All from the regiment,
wake up at 3:30.
Yep.
You know, do your 5 push-ups.
Yep.
Your gym style push-ups, as I call them.
Yeah, you gotta.
Those are the ones that you do because you just want to hurry up and get them over with, so you can play ball real quick.
Break the bottle.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Put the ice water in there, splash your face, you know.
Put some lemon in it.
You open your iPad, you know, I don't know what you do.
You gotta go for full sprints.
Yes.
Twice a day.
Full sprints. Yeah, but only like 10 feet back and forth, like suicide sprints, just back and forth. And then
only thing I'm missing is the G-Wagon.
That's it. Yeah. That's it. Then you find a random like parking lot to run at. Yeah. You run. And you bring one of those like the GoPros, but on you, so it makes it look like you got a cameraman following you while you're running.
I pay some random white boys to ask me for my autograph.
Absolutely.
Yeah, we Gucci.
Because I have no idea who you are, but if you pay me, I will absolutely know who you are. You know what I'm saying?
Listen, hold up. Before we get back, because I heard what you was talking about. Before we get back into Stephen A. and LeBron shenanigans, I'll say this. I'm not a hater. I feel like if it's for you, do you. What the fuck is going on? What the fuck is going on the internet right now? Like, yo, I think old boy is inspirational. I'm not even joking. You know why? Not for what he's doing. Bro, he's like literally before that video went viral, he was at like 100K followers. Bro, he's at 9 million. He'll be, by the time this episode airs, he'll be over 10. He gained 1 million followers in less than 24 hours.
Hey, I guess the regiment works, bro.
And then everybody's doing that fucking video.
Yo, first of all, it's one of those where it was funny the first couple I saw, but now that I know it's become a trend, it's going to get really old really fast.
You know who ruined it? Somebody ruined it already.
How? Who?
Logan Paul.
Oh, I saw his, and once I okay, so that's when I saw it, and I was like, oh, okay, we've reached that point.
That shit was so. I was watching like this, not even funny.
Nah, yo, when I watched it the first time, first of all, I've seen those things before. You know, wake up early and all of that. I believe it. I don't myself wake up at no 3:30, 4 o'clock, but to each his own. But I have heard, people wake up early and stuff like that. So when I saw his regimen at first, it was like, okay, he's an early riser. I hear put water on your face because that does like wake you up.
Fuck early riser. He's waking up at like 3:50.
Yeah, well, that's what the timestamp says.
Which means if he's waking up at 3:50 and he's getting his regular night sleep, that means that man's going to sleep at like 6.
I mean, I would, yeah. I mean, I don't know what to tell you, but I mean, like I said, but when he did, once it started going, and then he did the whole, like, 10,000? Yeah. 10,000, like 10,000 what? Nobody's up at 4 a.m. that you selling any product of 10,000 of anything to.
Listen, shout out to Marv. Marv, yeah, I just saw Marv.
Yeah, that was Marv. That was up close.
This is what happens when you walk in late. You fuck up. You're not talking into the mic.
Yep.
So y'all not gonna hear it.
Got your lapel messed up.
Is it?
Nah.
Bro, I was
he was footing it.
Nah, because
you was running down the parkway. Son?
Let's be real. Let's be real. Family going through some stuff right now.
Yeah.
So I was on my way here, but then I'm like, damn, I wanted to pull this off all day. Mm-hmm. So what happened was, I know where they sell the Saratoga Water, but I didn't have time to stop, because if I had time, if I went and got that, I would have walked in here like another 20 minutes.
Yeah.
So I'm like, I'm not going to do that. So I had to get the next closest thing. Guys, this is not Saratoga Water. This is, I can't show y'all the brand. But this isn't water.
Yeah.
This isn't water.
Good job. There's a lot of suing going on.
yeah. So it isn't water. Just know that. But listen, off that.
You're here. Oh, by the way, I was getting into my thing and looking out for the people. I just want to shout out our homie Steve today. The day that we're shooting this episode is his birthday. So shout out to Steve, one of the big boy engineers back there over here at Bravery Studios. We shouted him out a lot. That's really one of our brothers. So shout out Steve. Happy birthday, bro.
Listen, if you want to get your ass kicked in any video game.
Any video, especially a fighting video.
Yeah.
Matter of fact, I was talking to Marv and he said he's at a brewery where they're doing a Street Fighter tournament.
Ooh.
You know how Steve get down with the Street Fighter, bro.
And he gonna win that shit.
That's what I'm saying. On his birthday, yeah.
Just remember,
That's it.
Just remember, Steve, I need $1.
Dollar is what I need. Hey.
But nah, so I heard a little bit as I was walking in.
Yeah.
I don't know how far you got into the Stephen A. LeBron
I was at
shit.
the part where we already got past what he said to LeBron, what LeBron said to him, what he said today. Where he said, basically, it's like a dry snitch. He tried to, at least, where he was like, oh, I didn't bring up how you didn't go to Kobe's funeral and all this other stuff.
That's too much.
And then he backtracked it later on. He was like, oh, I misspoke. So basically, the theme of today's episode, because I got a couple things I saw, is when your feelings get the best of you, get the worst of you or the best of you, depending on the situation, that led you to some bad decisions.
Oh, my goodness.
Because now my boy has walked himself into a rabbit hole where we can all see that, you're whatever happened or didn't happen, you're still very emotionally attached to it, and you're trying to prove something to us for no reason. Like, wrap it up, bro. Like, you got punked. It is what it is. Let's move on, bro.
Listen, I'll say this. LeBron stans will consider me a LeBron hater. I'm not that. I truly believe LeBron's the second best player of all time. That does not make me a hater in saying that.
No, you're entitled to your opinion. You're not dookie on him. I get it.
Exactly. I think LeBron, outside of basketball, is one of the greatest human beings ever. Does he have a tendency of being corny and lying sometimes? Absolutely. But I'm able to also remember that LeBron is human. So if you understand that you get thrown into the limelight at technically 16, because it wasn't when he got drafted.
It was when he was playing with the Irish.
He was still in high school.
Yeah.
And
he was a phenom. He was checking for him.
He was rated #1 his junior year in high school.
Yeah.
But he was already getting scouted his sophomore year. So now that's a whole basically 3 years of high school that he's just got eyes on him. So when you're thrown into that threshold for basically most of his life at this point, he's not going through the experiences that you and I would go through that can somewhat formulate us to being somewhat normal.
Yeah.
So I can say like, yeah, LeBron has a tendency of being corny, but then I realize that's because he doesn't know anything else.
Yeah, this has been his life for a good minute, son. My boy is what, 40?
Yeah, 41.
Yeah, he's been in the league, what's that, 25 years?
Bro, think about it. He got drafted 03.
Well, excuse me, basketball-wise in terms of notoriety, 25 years.
When I put it this way, he got drafted in the NBA in 03. Mm-hmm. People who was born the year LeBron got drafted can legally drink for 2 years now.
That's crazy.
That's insane.
That's crazy. They literally grew up watching LeBron, son. Like that's their Jordan,
so
son.
When you put that in perspective and then you argue with people who are in that age group, it makes sense why that's
because
their
they
GOAT.
Literally watched him their entire. If they're into basketball, he's been on a game somewhere.
Exactly.
Even if you don't watch ball, he's been on Christmas games.
Everything.
He's been everywhere.
He's in movies now.
Yeah, exactly.
Everything.
Yeah.
So, and it's funny because we had the episode last season to where.
Whoa.
You knock that shit down every episode.
I do, son. This is chairs.
You gotta remember the chairs.
I like
bro.
the chairs, son. I'm gonna keep it like this.
Yeah. So, but you gotta remember that when we shot that episode last season, when me and Rel, shout out to my boy Rel,
Word.
when we debated who's the GOAT, I left here thinking like, damn, you know what? Rel's much younger than me. Mm-hmm. So at the time where you and I got to watch Jordan on the twilight of his career, he was being born into watching LeBron go off.
The prime and all of that. He saw, especially, because he had to be born what? No.
I think Terrell was 26. So he's...
Oh, you got me doing
Is that 98?
Let's go with that. My sister, yeah.
Yeah.
It's like 98, 99. 2000, let's go with that.
Around
that age, yeah.
But still.
Let's go with 99 because that's what it really is.
So that means when LeBron got drafted to the NBA, this man was still a toddler.
Yeah. Yeah.
So when you put that into perspective, it's like, I get it.
Yeah.
So going back to all the shit that's happening now, Stephen A has me literally defending LeBron because it's like, yo, if Stephen A would have just kept it basketball, cool. But words have definitions for a reason.
They hold weight.
Stephen A tried to come out today and say, I never attacked LeBron as a father. I attacked him as a player. Lies. Because in the entire fucking rant that you went on that made LeBron step to you in the first place, the first thing you said was, as a father. You literally said, as a father, you shouldn't be doing this. Right then and there, first sentence, you just took basketball completely off the table.
You're coming for fatherhood, off rip.
And then you want to be like, oh, LeBron shouldn't step to him. But then you listen to it again, I'm like, nah, fuck that.
And it's one of those where, because I used to be like that too, where it's like, nah, it's not that serious. But nah, sometimes, yo, when your character is being talked bad upon, like, I get why you hot. I get why you hot.
And like, so... Even the shit that because I watched the Pat McAfee interview. I watched it this morning. And then as I was watching it, I was able to catch clips of first take of him responding to a lot of the shit that was said. And I'm just sitting there like, bro, Stephen A, let it go, bro.
Yeah.
Because at this point, that's like, this is a complete over-dramatic ass situation. That's like me stepping on your shoe. I was going to say something else, but I'm going to dumb it down. I'm not going to do that. That's like me stepping on your shoe, and your shoes were brand new. Mm-hmm. I purposely skidded it, but then I felt bad about it afterwards. You called me out for it. You didn't do anything physically to me, but like, yo, you's a bitch for doing that.
Yeah.
I can say, hey, don't call me a bitch, but I'm sorry, because that's what Stephen A did. He apologized at first. I think that's why he's upset. He's upset because LeBron technically just didn't accept his apology. But if you watch the entire Pat McAfee interview, did you watch the whole thing?
Nah, I didn't watch the whole thing.
LeBron just was like, I'm going off on everybody. Bro, he went off on Stephen A. He started talking shit about the old basketball players. The only person he gave props to was Jordan. Fucking Brian Windhorst.
Yeah, I saw him catch a stray. He's like, he thinks he's my best friend or some shit.
He's like, these dudes are weird.
He's like, it's a weirdo.
I'm like, yo, and he's saying this shit to one of their coworkers, which makes it even crazier. ESPN had to air this man airing out people who make a lot of money for ESPN. Bro, that shit was wild. I'm watching this shit like, yo, as fucked up as it is, LeBron's a real nigga for this.
Now, you know what it is, though? Just imagine, all right? a world where people have the authority, or they feel like they do, to have whatever opinion they want about you for at least 20 years of your life. And you have to endure that to remain professional because, like you said, you're now the face of the league. People know you like you're a big name. You're not just some random dude. You've been enduring this for years. People have built careers off literally hating on you. That is their job. They're doing well at it, and now they're on other platforms because of it. At some point, you got to go, you know what? I'm about to be done with this anyway. And that's the point that we're at right now.
He said something, going off what you just said, he said something in that interview that resonated with me so much. And honestly, it made me feel better about the years where I used to be like, nah, fuck LeBron.
Yeah.
Because I used to always tell y'all, it wasn't in a sense of me hating him for being so good. It was the
decision.
No, it wasn't. I had no problem with that.
Okay.
My issue with LeBron was always, I felt like he didn't have that killer instinct that he has.
Yeah.
You know it's there, but it was at times he said it in an interview. He was like, because they got to a point in the interview he's talking about Kobe. He said he always felt bad that he fucked up that year in 2009 when the Magic ended up going to the finals. Everyone named Mama knew it should have been Cleveland.
Everyone knew that.
It should have been Cleveland versus the Lakers. He said it himself. He's like, I fucked up that year, and then we didn't get to where we needed to go.
And then the Magic gets swept.
Now, they're not gentleman sweep. They won one game.
I mean, okay, yeah.
They won one game.
Let's call it a gentleman sweep. All right.
But, don't get me started on Doc Rivers. I don't know if you heard that dumb shit he said today.
Oh, how they all forget when you win 3 times, but when you lose the rest, like, yeah, that's how it works, bro.
Nah, he was like, y'all can talk shit, but I've never been swept. Nigga, you know how many times he been 3-1?
4-1 is not something to go, well, at least I didn't get swept. No, technically, you're right.
So
but come on,
The
son.
funny part is, Stephen A. said, like, yo, Doc brought that shit up to me a few years ago, and he said he looked Doc dead in his face and said, don't ever say this publicly. And what Doc fucking do today? He said that shit publicly. What the fuck is wrong with people?
It's like, yo, if you would have been like, I never got swept and your games always go to game 7, I'll give you that.
They was getting their ass whipped. and the bad part is he was taking good ass teams.
Yes.
And getting them beat. Bro, those Clippers, fact that those Clippers teams never made it out the second round is
I'm glad you said
crazy.
that because that was the only
those
team I was
City
thinking
teams
about.
were good, bro.
They should have had at least, I'm comfortable saying 2 rings. They wouldn't have taken all of them based on how the NBA was at that time, but I would have given them at least 2 rings.
Doc based his whole career off of that super team that Boston had. As good as a coach that Doc Rivers couldn't be, he only has 1 title for a reason.
Yeah.
And
because
then
after that super team dismantled,
it was over.
Here we are.
It was fucking over.
Here we are.
And everywhere he's been since has just been mediocrity. Anyway, back to what we were talking about. So fucking LeBron basically was saying that he had moments at the beginning of his career to where he felt like, you know what? He could have went a little bit harder. And that was always my gripe against Brian back in the day. Motherfuckers, we were younger, so people didn't understand where I was coming from. I'm like, yo, when you grow up watching a fucking killer, understand, like, I don't think people really put into grasp what the fuck Jordan did to people. Jordan made it his mission to win every fucking year. Bruh, there's a generation of fucking all-time great players who never sniffed a ring simply because of, I'm not going to say because of one person, because Pippen was that nigga.
yeah.
Mostly, though.
That team.
Mostly, though, because of one person.
Yeah.
Jordan literally kept these motherfuckers. Yo, Jordan retired, whether you want to say it was the league basically going to suspend him for the gambling shit and all that, cool. He gave these motherfuckers a 2-year window to be like, you know what? Do what you need to do.
Have fun.
Have fun. And y'all let one man win it twice.
That's it.
And I think people forget, our age forget, that the first ring, Houston wasn't even supposed to win that shit. Because they made the playoffs as a 6 seed. And then they just got hot.
And that's playoff basketball.
That's playoff fucking basketball.
That's playoff basketball, son.
The last time the Knicks been in the finals, they was the 8th seed.
That's it.
That shit doesn't happen. And the Heat did it like 2-3 years ago.
Yeah, didn't they win the chip that year?
No, they haven't won since.
But was that the bubble year?
Yeah.
When did the Heat win?
The
Lakers. I thought the Lakers won that year, the bubble year.
The bubble year.
Yeah.
They played the Heat in the finals.
Okay, so when did the Heat? Oh,
the Heat haven't won since LeBron.
Right. Since LeBron and Wade. You're right.
But
they go to the finals, but
yeah,
you're right.
But my thing is, right, had LeBron never went to Miami and had that, and that's why I fuck with D Wade. People can say whatever the fuck they want about D Wade. That's a real friend. That's a real nigga. Because when D Wade put that battery in Bron back, like, bruh, yes, I've been here. This is your fucking team.
Go crazy.
Go crazy.
Have fun.
Bro, those fucking 3 years in Miami, LeBron was fucking scary, bro.
Yo.
Dog, and that's where I got to a point where I'm like, yo, I gotta stop hating on this nigga, bro, because dog.
Because like you even brought this up before when people try to say like Chris Bosh in that time was like a top 5 player, that he wasn't. Excuse me.
Yeah.
But when he got hurt, it was literally just Bron and Wade.
Yo.
And Wade, like you said, Wade would still drop his 20-25, but LeBron was going off.
Wade told Bron, because remember, those first 20 games, they were having problems gelling because they were still trying to run the team through Wade. Bron wanted to be respectful. But that was always his issue at that point. Mm-hmm. He would get you there, but he wouldn't take that edge that he needed to take. And that's why I love that meme when he's just like fucking grimacing. Like he's in the camera and he's like, and he's hunched over and he's just looking.
Yeah.
That's where the fucking killer in him came out. And that was the first time I seen Bron. I was fully rooting against the Heat. But when I saw that shit, I'm like, oh, he's getting it. Oh, he's fucking getting it. Because what always made me mad the first finals that they lost against Dallas, if LeBron would have switched off on Dirk in game 2,
okay,
Dallas is not winning that championship.
Yeah, they should. First of all, they shouldn't even have lost.
Dirk,
like that shit
no.
was.
Don't get it twisted. That man Dirk was like,
I agree.
Fucking shit up.
I agree.
Dirk was going off on those niggas.
Yeah.
Because that's the thing.
I agree.
Chris Bosh couldn't defend Dirk
at all.
Because don't get it twisted. Bosh is a great defender, but he's not a great on-ball defender. Dirk was,
and Dirk was he was just different. He was just different, bro.
So then instead of,
because it didn't matter who was guarding him.
instead of Spoelstra putting Bron on Dirk, they put fucking Joel Anthony on Dirk. What are we doing? You can't put a shot blocker on this nigga.
Joel Anthony was the slowest. Slow.
And they tried to throw Haslam at him. That's not going to work.
Yeah.
So it only made sense for Bron to defend him, and Bron didn't do it until it was literally 5 minutes left in the last game.
Too late.
It's too late. It's too late. The man already is going to kick your ass. Now, Dirk ain't got to do it. Because remember, as soon as Bron switched off on Dirk, Jason Terry started knocking all his fucking threes down. Because remember, LeBron was D and Terry. Mm-hmm. And Terry was like, well, I'm going to make you a big-ass run the whole game. And that's what he did. Jason Terry looked that man in his face and said, remember, Terry had the fucking tattoo of the fucking finals on his arm.
Right. Before they even won anything.
And they was like, why are you so confident? He was like, LeBron is LeBron, but I'm going to make him chase me this entire
whole
series.
Game.
He's not going to be able to do that.
Yeah.
Now, granted, LeBron kept up, but it didn't make sense for him to be doing that. You got Wade for a reason. They had Wade, D, and J Kidd. That didn't make sense.
Yeah, that didn't make sense.
That didn't make sense.
Not at that time, especially. Because J Kidd was on his decline by that.
Yeah, this ain't Phoenix J Kidd.
No.
That was, excuse me, part 2 Dallas. Because remember, he was in Dallas when he got drafted.
Oh, that's right.
So part 2 Dallas J Kidd.
We talking about this is 2.0, not in a good way.
Yeah.
Like, because by now he's on a decline already.
Yeah. Like, so it didn't make sense. Mm-hmm. Like, you gotta remember, this is also after fucking he left the Knicks. It didn't make sense.
Yeah, I don't even know why we picked him up, honestly. But
it didn't make sense.
You know what? That was before we got the new regiment involved, so I'm not gonna talk shit.
Yo, because Dallas made it work with 2 niggas that was on that team.
Hey.
Because remember, they took Kidd and Chandler.
They did.
And ended up winning. And
we took Raymond Felton. Raymond freaking Felton.
So I'm bringing all that back because for LeBron to be at a place in his life when he's self-aware, and as mad as people want to be, you're fucking lying if you're saying, if you're a parent and you're in that position that he's in, that you won't try to utilize it to the most and best that you can. Like, yes, Bronny's a nepotism baby. So fucking what?
You know how many nepotism babies there are in the world? Ain't nobody going around signing petitions for them not to get their money. They stuff together.
I gotta say it. I'll leave it at that. It's the only political jab I'm gonna make.
Oh,
our fucking president is a nepotism baby.
I was about to say, then I should have said my other thing that I had to say first before that, but you are 100% right. Yes. But even though he complains and said, my father only gave me $1 million, like, only?
Suck a dick. Like, fuck out of here. But, like, and his partner is a nepotism baby. Elon didn't get that money. Like, he inherited that shit.
You mean to tell me he didn't work for blood, sweat, and tears?
No, the fuck?
He didn't design the first Tesla by himself?
Bruh.
That's not how that worked? Oh, shucks.
The nigga don't even own the Tesla name. Like, the fuck? That's an actual person.
First of all, didn't they have to recall Like all of them?
Nah, they
was
just
it the Cybertrucks?
This is the Cybertrucks.
Oh, okay.
But anyway, off that. This is not a political episode.
Yeah.
But
He can't help himself, y'all. That's the problem.
Look, I'm getting off it. I read some shit because then there's another ESPN radio show that they do film and show on TV called Undisputed.
Oh, okay, yeah, that's right.
Not Undisputed. It's called Unsportsmanlike.
Oh, then I don't.
With fucking Chris Canty. And he has two
okay. I've
goals.
seen clips from it, but I haven't watched.
Chris Canty's a fucking clown. I'm sorry. Like, Giants fans, forgive me. Y'all man just became. He's one of those fucking radio broadcasters who just like hot takes. He want to be seen, so he says a lot of dumb shit when it don't make sense.
He doesn't like dive into it. He kind of just looks at things surface level and spews them.
I hate it because he purposely says some dumb shit, and a broken clock is right twice a day.
Yeah.
So he tries to like back up his dumb shit by trying to piggyback off of the rare times that he's actually right. Like when everybody was like, "Oh, Aaron Rodgers was a great thing for the Jets to go after him," he's the only person like, "No, it's stupid. Like it's dumb." And everybody was like, "What's your reasoning for it?" And he didn't have one.
He just wanted to say it. He's like, "I just want to have a difference of opinion."
Yeah. And that's why people are like, "No, you're being fucking stupid." Like, anyway,
you're just arguing the other side just to argue the other side.
The white lady on his show said today, LeBron has to understand that he took, by him doing what he did for Bronny, he took the chance for somebody who's been busting their ass all their life. He took a chance away from that particular person, whoever it is, to make it to the league. And he basically cut the line. I responded to that shit like, this man got drafted 55th overall in one of the worst, in one of the absolute fucking worst NBA draft. This draft class that just passed will go down as the worst draft class. The camera's on me. I'm gonna look dead in the camera. And you can say it again, Hart. This fucking draft class will go down as the absolute worst draft class the NBA has ever had. This draft class was ass.
Yes, it was really bad.
And he went next to last.
Yes.
And he cut the line? Are we joking? Now, if he would have went top 10, that would have been a stretch.
Everyone would have said the same thing, like, that's a lot. But 55?
55?
What was the last pick? I think
56.
I was about to say, I think 56, right?
Are we joking? Dante, are we joking?
Nah, but I get what they're... No, I don't get what they're saying, because it doesn't make any sense. Think about it. It. Like you said, if he would have been top 10, top 5, I get exactly what y'all are saying. But not only did he get drafted 55th, yes, he played his first NBA game, but he's been spending a lot of time in the G League.
Yeah.
Where other players who also aren't in the NBA.
And he's kicking their ass.
So for you to say and honestly, I was a skeptic. I was like, when Bronny comes in, I don't think he's going to do nothing.
Both were.
And he hasn't really. But when he's gone to the G League and what he's done recently, it's like, okay.
But
I see the growth. I see him getting better.
And
is he going to be like his pops?
No.
I don't think so.
Not yet.
I don't think it's... And I could be wrong. I could very well be wrong.
You can pin this to, he's never going to be his father.
Yeah.
And that's okay.
But like I said, we could very well be wrong.
Yeah.
But I don't foresee that happening. But do I think he'll be a good player? Yes. I do think he can come along into his own and find his own niche in the NBA. Yeah. I do think that.
And he's coming along now. He had that one game when he went 7 for 10. Mm-hmm. Granted, it's 17 points, but in the NBA, that's a really good thing to fucking do.
Yes, it is.
Because that's very efficient as fuck. Like, he missed 3 shots. He took 10 shots and missed 3 of them. That's good.
That's pretty good.
It's really fucking good.
Hate all you want, but that's pretty good.
And 4 of those shots was 3-pointers.
You know what I'm saying?
That's a good fucking percentage.
Yes.
So my thing is, right, so all right, he did that and he followed that up with a 39-point game in the G League. I think people often forget, had Bronny not had the cardiac issue, the nigga would have been a lottery pick. Because Bronny was nasty in high school.
Yeah.
So once again, I just want to remind that white lady, because this also made me mad. I think a lot of people, y'all can take this for what it is. This is not a political statement. You can laugh all you want. I think the mistake that a lot of, because I've spoken about this on previous episodes as well. Black people have gotten into a habit of not telling their white friends when they're being racist. Mm-hmm. Since we as a majority have stopped doing that, a lot of white people just completely forget their heritage or why they're in the certain positions that they're in, or why we could potentially be saying like, hey, you guys had an advantage more than we did. Like I've been on record and telling the story about how I remember the third job interview I went on after I graduated college. The person interviewing me was somebody who was in my class, and this girl was dumb as rocks. She literally looked at me and said, you should be interviewing me. And I asked her, how'd you get this job? And I found out her dad was like the owner of the fucking company.
Nepotism.
So remember who created nepotism. Mm-hmm. I think that there's a part of, I'm trying to say it without trying to generalize whole groups because I don't like doing that. But there's a good section of people who just so happen to be, the clear color. There's a good section of people who don't fully understand that a lot of their ancestors built a society that was meant for them to thrive even if they're mediocre. And that's why, we go into DEI and stuff like that. That's why it's so hard for them to fathom that there's no way these people who don't look like me or don't have the same genitalia as me are getting these positions and I'm not. So the only way they can internalize it is, someone must be just giving it to them. Not understanding that we have to work almost twice as fucking hard to get somewhere that you guys have already been for years. And so when that lady said that shit about Bronny, I'm like, my immediate reaction was, so fucking what? Now you see the problem. Now you see the problem.
This is nothing new. It might be new with the fact that it's happening in reverse, but this is something that we see very often. You know how many times I've come across somebody who, whether it's a profession, it's a job, whatever, they're not qualified for whatever it is, but and nepotism is not just blood.
Yeah.
Like this can be literally people you know.
People friends.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? But it's the idea that someone that you have a relationship with in some kind can put you ahead. You know how many times I've seen that and go, yo, there's no way that if this was on fair play that you'd be ahead of me in this particular thing.
Absolutely
there's no
not.
way.
There's no fucking way.
There's no way.
And the shit that blows my mind that people have shot LeBron did this, his 3 best friends are rich as fuck because of nepotism. Rich Paul owns an entire sports agency and oversees like the biggest fucking clients in all of sports, not just basketball. Mm-hmm. Well, did Rich Paul go to law school? No.
I'm gonna go with no.
Most agents are lawyers.
Yeah. Hey.
How did he get that?
Hey, you gotta know somebody that knows somebody. So.
Maverick Carter.
Who's that?
The dude. You ever watch his show, The Shop?
The Shop.
When he's interviewing people.
Yes.
So the dude who hosts that show, the light-skinned dude with the hair, that's Maverick Carter.
Okay.
That's his business partner. They grew up together in Akron.
Hey, let me tell you something. If I got a friend like that and wants to put me on, y'all can claim nepotism all you want.
Listen, I don't care. He literally had that movie made about his boys in high school with the dude from Stranger Things played Drew, the little small point guard.
That's right. Okay.
They ate off of that.
I remember that.
All his high school teammates now got money and residuals off that movie because of who?
Because of Bron.
How do y'all not expect him to do this?
Yep.
And the crazy part is, LeBron has enough game in him right now that if he wanted to stay in the league until fucking Bryce comes in the NBA,
he could. Just to spite everybody, he could.
Bryce gonna be a fucking problem.
Yo, no. We are in agreement on that, sir. Because that man.
Nah,
when he come to the league, bro,
but we gonna call him that man.
That's what, when he come to the league, bro,
he has the potential to be his father.
Yeah, that's okay. I'm glad you said it, bro. It may not happen, but in terms of potential,
we may be wrong, but I doubt it.
Yo, but you know what? I also realized about I don't know if it's like just a thing or is it something I noticed, but you ever notice like when it comes to generational talents that have kids, it's always like the second. If they have like 2 sons or 2 daughters or whoever, the second child always gets more of that ability.
Most of the time.
I noticed that.
That didn't happen with the Currys.
Nah.
Seth?
Yes. No, but...
No. It took him a while. Remember, Seth got cut for mad long and he started bouncing around. And it wasn't
until... But then Seth got good at his threes and they was like, yo, we can use him. And he's been bouncing around for that.
What team was it? Was it Brooklyn or... I'm trying to remember the team that basically made him like a constant.
I'm gonna go
consistent NBA
with
player.
either Dallas or Brooklyn. I can't remember. It was one of
Dallas.
those two teams.
It was Dallas.
Yeah, it was one of those
Had
two
he not
teams.
caught on with Dallas the way he did,
Yeah.
it was curtains for my boy.
Yeah.
But off of what you're saying, the Griffins. People forget about Blake Griffin's older brother.
I forgot about him. I forgot they were both weren't they in college together?
Yeah.
And I remember that because I was like, "Oh, this is his younger brother." Blah blah. But
Yeah.
that's second born.
His older brother didn't get drafted the year before, and then Blake got signed to Clippers, and then they tried to sign the brother, and his brother was just look at the Giannis brothers.
Yo, no, but that's different though.
Nah, Giannis is younger.
That's how you say his name. The Thanasis. Thanasis. He's the older one.
I'm not even gonna try. Yes, he's older than Giannis.
Oh, he is.
Yes.
I thought Giannis was the older brother bringing them up.
It's three
That's
of them.
crazy.
The younger brother is in the G League for the Lakers.
That's right. I heard about the youngest brother.
No, excuse me. The younger brother, he was in the G League for the Lakers,
But he's overseas, right?
No, huh?
I thought he was overseas.
No, right now he's in the G League for the Knicks.
Okay.
Thanos, that's his name.
The Nassus. That's
The
what I'm
Nassus. That's his name. That's his name.
Okay.
The Nassus is his older brother.
Oh,
And he's the
okay.
Assus.
And what? No, his name is Giannis.
No. Giannis, brother, the Nassus.
The Nassus is his older brother.
Yeah, the older brother. His nickname is the Assus.
Yo, I hate you. I'm over here trying to understand it. You're a dick.
Because Giannis is getting this man millions of dollars for like 4 years. His older brother got an NBA ring.
He got only one. Yeah.
He got his brother a ring, bro. Because that man sucked.
And got him paid for 4 years.
Yo, when I seen them give him that contract before they cut him last year, I'm like, yo, what the fuck are we doing?
It's like, yo, Giannis is the face of that franchise.
Now, if that white
he
lady
says,
would've
I
said
want my
that-
brother to get some money, then his brother go
if
get
that
some
white
money.
lady would have said that about Giannis, I'd have been like, yeah,
Yes,
you're right.
absolutely.
Because the Nass's ass.
Yo, my boy played an average of like maybe 9 minutes.
Yo.
And he would only literally be in when it's garbage
Dude,
time and they're
like-
either really losing or really winning.
Nah, I remember there was one season where Porter got hurt. So he was like getting real burned. And every time he would get in, he had like 6 turnovers. And everybody was like, yo, why you keep putting him in the game?
It's like, yo, because Giannis told us we have to.
Giannis is holding us hostage. That's what it was.
He's like, if y'all don't do that, I'm leaving.
Coach is like, so? He's like, leave it alone. Sit your ass down. No, but nah, yo. So,
Nah, that's nepotism at its finest.
we got all the way off topic. We supposed to talk about.
Yeah, there was some other things, but you be going on these rants, and but I'm an enabler.
You are an enabler.
I'm an enabler because I don't be like, yo, bro, bring it back. No, I keep going on that journey with you. Son.
We got like 11 minutes.
We got some time, son.
So the whole point was, right? You brought up the Stephen A. thing to say, when did your feelings get you into some shit you shouldn't be involved in?
Yes. Or just like, got you to a point. But before you get into something serious, because it sounds like it's going to be, there is a story. I don't know if you saw it. There was a woman who, she was on a vacation with her friends, I'm assuming. You might have saw it earlier. Okay. And she had she was going inside of a cooler and throwing out these pineapples. So long story short, they were on a vacation. And you know how sometimes you go on those island vacations, they'll make a drink in front of you or whatever. So they had all the ingredients inside of a cooler. And apparently she gave her money for a drink, and either A, it was too expensive and that's not what she ordered, or B, they didn't give her her change. One of those two. I'm still trying to figure out what happened. But long story short, she started opening a cooler and throwing the pineapples into the water, right? So all of that, I was watching this shit earlier, and it's like, yo, you know what it is? It's Americans. We're the problem. Yo, we literally, excuse me, I won't speak for myself, but majority of times when you see this shit, it's Americans. Yes. You leave the country and you automatically think, and this is a wild take, and I'm okay for it. But this is why I understand, I don't condone, but I understand why some countries don't allow freedom of speech. Because when you do, you get people like that. That's crazy. That's not even freedom of speech, though. That's so much of, oh, I'm this, that you thought it was okay to behave like, and this is a grown woman, bro.
I'm happy you said that before I ever got a chance to. I said this to somebody personally a couple years ago, and they looked at me like I had 6 heads. I don't support it, but with everything that happens in this country and just people just being so fucking idiotic, it makes you understand why certain countries have communism.
I get it. Like I said, I don't condone it. I'm not sitting up here saying let's. But from a standpoint of looking at it and going, oh, I see why y'all did that. Yeah, I see why y'all did that.
Listen, I told y'all I tried my hardest not to be political. But Trump makes me understand communism, bro. Because the fact that you dummies just don't see the bullshit and just be like, yeah, like he's right. And he's like, son, like Hyundai opened up a huge plant in Georgia. Okay. Right? So everybody's like, oh, this is such a great thing. It's going to create so many jobs, which it is. So somebody reposted that and was like, oh, I thought the tariffs was going to be wrong. They made this plan in 2022. Huh? The fuck are we talking about? Yeah, but they just opened it now. And what are we talking about?
That's like saying, yo, this amusement park has been built for 4 years. But we just opened the doors last week. Oh, so it just happened. No, the amusement park has been here.
Here's the even dumber part. Dante, here's the dumber part, right? So this person is thinking, right? Hyundai is a Japanese company. Uh-huh. There's a reason why this Japanese company is opening a power plant in America. Because at that point, once that plant is open, they're not going to get hit with Japanese tariffs. Mm-hmm. Because that product that they will be making in that power plant would now be made in America. So the tariffs have nothing to do with it. So this person tried to double down on this shit. And I'm like, yo, am I living in the Twilight Zone? What the fuck is going on?
This is the best.
It's not. Yo, it really isn't.
No, listen, bro. You know how you have to laugh to keep from crying.
No, man.
Listen,
but here's the even crazier part.
Yo, it's not going to stop. That you know what? You're going to have to deal with this for 4 years.
So they're not going to have to deal. They're not going to have to deal with the tariffs that are being imposed on Japan, which makes no sense because Japan just gave America a lot of fucking money. Mm-hmm. So they might not even get hit with it, but still, this plant is going to have to use for their cars. Guess where that's coming from?
Where?
Canada.
Oh. One of our used to be friends.
Bro, oh my God, bro. Anyway, so the question was, what have you done?
When is the time that your feelings got the best or worst of you, depending on the situation?
So you know which one I can easily go with, but I'm not gonna go with that one.
Okay. I got a couple.
Nah, we've drawn that out too many times. I've spoken on that issue way too many times on this show.
Yeah.
That's the main one.
I mean, yeah.
That's the main one. But that's for good reason.
There's always a reasonable crash out, right?
I'll say this, but I don't think I've ever spoke about this one on the episode. 8th grade. Mm-hmm. I had a teacher named Mrs. Bachman. Mm-hmm. You know what's funny? I thought Mrs. Bachman was really cool at first. Uh-huh. This lady wore glasses.
So that's why you thought she was cool?
Shut up. Can I finish? So I was always that student. I'm still like that in life now. Like when people are a little bit misunderstood, I gravitate towards them.
Same.
Because I used to always think that I was misunderstood, where I just realized it was just my fucking insecurities. Because like when I go talk to people about like middle school and high school, everybody's like, yo, everybody liked you. And I used to think motherfuckers hated me. Me? I remember writing on Facebook a couple years ago, and everybody was like, were you cool or were you a nerd in high school? And I put nerd. And people were underneath responding like, what the fuck are you talking about?
Nerd where?
I'm like, that's how I felt inside. Anyway, that's how I feel inside. But no, so Ms. Bachman, at the beginning of that school year, was really cool. Mm-hmm. But then I realized that she had separated the black kids. She separated the black and Indian kids. Uh-huh. This is Islam. I had realized too late in the school year that she had separated the black kids and the Indian kids on one side of the class. Uh-huh. Now the white kids on the other side of the class. But we were all so cool with each other, nobody caught it.
Okay.
So what happened? You know, we're young, it's 8th grade and shit. Beginning of the class, you know how 8th graders are. We're throwing papers at each other. If there's a cute girl in the class, you try and flirt, whatever. Somebody's asking for a pencil because it was always that one kid who never had fucking
Of course,
pencils.
And they go to school every day.
So, we're doing all that. It's the first 10 minutes of class. So she's getting agitated because me and my boy, I'm not going to put his name out there. I'm still cool with him. You know him.
Okay. I know who you're talking about.
Me and my boy in the class throwing papers at each other. But then we both take the paper and throw it at this girl we was all cool with. So she takes the paper and throw it back at us. So now we're just flinging it back at each other. We get yelled at. And we was cool because we started it. So we stop. She keeps going. She watches this girl throw the paper. We get yelled at again. And then as I'm starting to get frustrated, I start to notice, holy shit, we're separated.
Separated.
I'm like, oh shit. So no one notices the shit. I'm like, let it go. The next day, I walk into class. She's now yelling at me.
Walked in with a kufi the next class.
Black power, baby. So the next day, I walk into class. Now she's fucking with me. Because she felt like I was going to start some shit today. I'm like, nah, because I was never a class clown. But, you know, you have classes with your boys, that's rare. So you got to act out a little bit.
You got to have fun. You got to have fun. It's only right.
So, fucking, she said something to me at the beginning of that class, and she just caught me on an off day. And I'm like, leave me alone. I sit down. Now, today, I'm the kid with no pencil. I look to this girl who happens to be white. I'm like, hey, can I borrow a pencil? That's what I said. LaShawn, get out! Fuck you, you racist ass bitch!
I started thinking to myself, man.
That's what happened. What the fuck made this nigga so mad? That shit lit a fuse in me. Bro, Dante, to that point in my life, I had never cursed at an adult. To that point in my life, I had never cursed at an adult. When she said, LaShawn, get out, and I'm doing the right shit. I'm asking for something to pay attention. I'm about to take notes. I'm about to take good ass notes. And I'm like, can I borrow a pencil? She's like, LaShawn, get out. I'm like, immediate. No, D, there was no hesitation. I'm like, can I get a pencil? She saw me asking for the pencil. She's like, LaShawn, get out. And in a split second, I looked up and went, fuck you, you racist ass bitch. You think they're not going to realize you separated us in here? Don't worry about it. I go to the principal office and I'm going to tell them what you're doing. Fuck that. So, and this is what made me realize there's a lot of cool ass people that don't look like us that's for us.
Yo.
Because a bunch, all of my teachers in this school are white. But they all knew the type of student I was. Like we said in the last episode, I was smart as shit, but I never did my homework. That was my one problem. So all my teachers adored me because I would always, raise my hand and I'm answering the questions and whatnot.
Yeah.
So when I spazzed on this lady, they didn't turn against me. They actually rallied for me. I remember, shout out to my homie, Mr. Kenny. This old white guy. He pulled me to the side like, LaShawn. I'm like, Mr. Kenny, you know me, man.
It's me, man.
It's me, man. Like, you know me.
Sorry, Maureen. I just didn't want to go there soon.
I do the morning news. You know I'm not going to spaz for no reason. And he was like, you think she's racist? I'm like,
dog.
Yes.
See,
I'm like, yes.
It's something about those teachers with the last name man at the end, because I have a very similar story. But my teacher was German. Yeah. His name was Schwartzman, Mr. Schwartzman. I had Jacqueline, all the funny dudes all the funny dudes from high school.
Yeah,
they were in that class. This was 10th grade, right?
Oh Lord.
So this was geometry.
Yeah.
And I walked in. I was not having a good day. It was very similar to your 8th grade story. I was not having a good day. And I walk into class and I sit down. And, I got my pencil, though, so I'm taking my notes or whatever. But he's asking the class, does anyone answer this question on the board? Bro, I wasn't even not paying no kind of attention. I was not trying to do it. So he calls on me, of course. I go, Mr. Schwartzman, I'm good. I'm not really feeling it today. Like, can you call on somebody else? Real respectful, because I didn't want to just tell you no. I try to be as respectful as possible. So then he goes, oh, no, I want you to answer. And I said, Mr. Schwartzman, I really don't want to. Can you please, there's 30 other kids. Can you ask somebody else? He goes, oh, what's wrong? The baby's sad. I said, how about you shut the fuck up and get out my face? He said, go to the principal's office. So I go to the principal's office. I'm not gonna lie to y'all. I was never a kid who went to the principal's office frequently. I did some shit. I just never got caught. So I never had to go to the principal's office. But no, statute of limitations. So whatever I did now is gone. But when I did go to the principal,
whoop his ass when he come back over.
When I did go to the principal's office, this was Mr. Gibbons.
Yeah.
I walk in the office and he was like, Dante, I ain't gonna say my last name, Dante. I was like, yeah. He was like, I've never seen you in my office. I was like, yeah. He's like, so why are you here? And I told him straight up. I was like, Mr. Schwartzman wanted me to do something. I didn't want to do it. He made fun of me in front of everybody. I told him shut the fuck up. And Mr. Gibbs was like, wow, you said it like that? I was like, just like that. He was like, well, I can't just let you go back to class. I was like, oh no, I understand that. He's like, but like, you're never here. I was like, well, you know, whatever happens, happens. So I got a Saturday detention, but it was one of those times where you could appeal.
Yeah.
Did you ever like appeal your Saturdays? That shit worked for me, bro. And I ain't even had to go.
Must be nice.
I ain't even had to go to that shit, son.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's one of those times where it's like, yo, the emotion, my intrusive thoughts definitely won.
Listen.
Absolutely.
Saturday detention was fucking jail, dog.
Had it once, didn't have to go.
Bruh. So you never been?
Never. I either just got suspended or
that shit
was in school. I never did Saturday detention or regular detention.
That shit had to have been illegal. I mean, I'm not kidding when I tell you. Saturday detention, especially at Union High School.
Hey, don't do the crime, don't do the time.
Fuck that. Because my detentions were always because I was late. It wasn't any performance things.
Oh.
You know what happened?
Yeah.
Statute of limitations. I didn't live in the fucking town. I didn't live in the fucking town, okay?
I was going to say, some things never change. Lateness, huh?
I didn't live in the fucking town. Anyway, so if I missed my bus, I was fucked. So,
but they didn't know that at the time.
I used to always try to sneak in past the late office. And they'd be like, LaShawn, where you going?
Dude, like Scooby-Doo, one of those, like, dude.
Walking past the door like we see you. You know, I was a big-ass high school, too. They're like, we see you, you big nigga.
It's like, yo, you know, we see you. You know we can see you.
Like, nah, I was already here. I'm walking the first period. With your coat on.
Yeah, right, yeah. Hall pass? Where's your hall pass?
Fucking RoboCop. Where's your hall pass? But yo, so... Bro, I promise you, and we gotta wrap it up. Mm-hmm. I promise you, fucking, this is how Saturday detention went. You had to be there 10 minutes before it started. If you walked in 5 minutes before you started, they sent you home. You couldn't make a sound. When I mean you couldn't make a sound, D, if you fell asleep, they sent you home. If you fell asleep, they sent you home, and then you had to come back the next Saturday.
You gotta do it again. I remember that.
If you were not doing work, they sent you home. You had to come back the next Saturday. You didn't have any work to do. If you finished your work, you had to bring some form of a book. No matter what type of book it is, you had to bring something. You had to be doing something. This shit was 3 hours long. Did you know what the fuck you could do in 3 hours? I could drive to Washington, D.C. from my seat right now in 3 hours.
And these is the younger years when 3 hours really felt like 3 hours,
Nigga,
bro.
Avengers Endgame is 3 hours long. I can go watch the entire show of Hamilton for 3 hours. Imagine sitting in one chair. You can't get up.
Yeah, you can't go to the bathroom.
You can't go to the... No,
you can ask. You
can ask. But even in you raising your hand, you're running the risk of getting in trouble and getting kicked out. Bruh, that shit was jail.
He said you could ask, but...
I watch niggas get kicked out for asking to go to the bathroom too much. That shit... What if I have a bladder problem? Like, that shit was prison.
Inhumane.
Yo.
Inhumane.
Nigga, Union, I don't give a fuck. Union got away with a lot of shit they shouldn't have been doing.
I bet you they don't do them Saturday detentions now.
They don't.
I bet you they don't.
Union got away with... Bro, we were in jail. Nigga, every time they would give me a Saturday, I'm like, no!
Just give me regular detention, please.
The only reason senior year I stopped getting them is because we used to have Saturday games.
Yeah.
I can't go to fucking Saturday detention for a football game.
Yeah, that's right.
So fucking Sheridan would get me out of it. But I'm like, yo, this is nonsense.
It's a good thing you was nice, because if you was ass, he'd be like, nah, you gotta do that detention.
Oh, he's not playing. Take your ass to detention. Like,
moral of the story, ladies and gentlemen, don't do the crime, you don't do the time.
Fuck you. Ain't do no fucking crime. We were in school, not prison. That's why niggas go to jail so much. Because school was basically jail.
Hey, that's a systemic. We ain't gonna get into that right now. That's a whole nother hour we could use, yo. But yo, thank you for joining us, Shawn, because I know you had to put us into your schedule today. So thank you for myself and the scholars.
I'm the guest. Y'all go follow me.
Yeah, let them know where they can follow you at.
Follow me
at Educated Brothers Podcast. That's where they can follow you.
Hey, wait. That's how I felt in Saturday Detention. And while I'm singing the song, No Talent Beats, y'all can play us out.
Oh my God, no talent beats on that note. Play us out, brother.
Wait in the water.
You see me in Saturday Detention singing that is annoying.
Wait in the water, children. That's how I felt in Saturday Detention. When we gonna be free?
He was in there writing hymns.
Let us be free.
Give us free.
Give us free. Bruh, that shit was jail, slavery.
Yeah, that's what everybody told me. That's why I was like, yeah, Mr. Give